Hey guys, it's Retro Rose here. Welcome back to another Mushy Monday. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your week, and we're going to continue the series Our Life of Beginning and Always. If you're new here, again, my name is Retro Rose. I play a variety of games from indie horror, cozy games, action pack, mushy games, puzzle, adventures, you name it. But I hope after watching this video, you become a part of my Rose Garden. But without further ado, we're going to continue the DLC. So we're going to do Runaway next. It was early and you were on your way to the playground. Lizzie planned on joining you there later. You weren't sure what she was busy with right now. Older kid stuff, you imagined. That was okay. What was forefront of your mind was if Cove might be free to come too. As you walked the familiar street, wondering how you might find your neighbor, he appeared right in front of you, almost as if he was a mind reader. Hi, Cove. Can you come to the playground with me? No, sorry. Cove looked strangely serious. It had to be an even bigger deal than whatever mystery thing Lizzie had to do. I'm leaving, Rose. What? Where? He shifted, and your gaze was drawn to the backpack slung over his shoulders. Cove liked to stuff things into his pockets from what you've seen, but people sometimes carry bags with them. It hadn't been very attention-worthy until now. The pack was decorated with cartoon waves and dolphins. He gripped one of the straps tightly with his good hand. I just wanted you to know. Cove didn't glance up and meet your eyes. You started to grow worried. But where are you going? I'll come with you. He looked up at that. You hoped he would agree, but instead he shook his head. I'll come back though sometime. I don't know when, but we can do stuff then. He directed a fragile smile your way. Without another word, Cove turned on his heel and started to walk away. You couldn't say anything else to him. Wait. He kept going, but his focus wasn't on you anymore. What was that about? You watched as his back grew smaller and smaller, then you realized that you were still standing in the middle of the sidewalk. You thought about your earlier plan to play at the park. Suddenly, it didn't seem as fun anymore without Cove, but it wasn't like you couldn't force him to play with you. You had things to do. You stayed there. You could have played at the park some other time. It wasn't like it was going anywhere, and you couldn't bring yourself to leave like this. You didn't move from your spot, you just continued to look on quietly. It didn't take long to realize that he was just going up the street. You were positive there was nothing good over there. Not a park or a beach or the store street or his house or anything. He was new, he might not know what to do. You jogged down the street to catch up to him. You slowed down once you reached his side. He glanced at you from the corner of his eyes and frowned. Go away, Rose. I just wanted to say you're going the wrong way. There aren't any places that way you're going. His mouth twisted further. He didn't appreciate your warning. I'm still going. Why? What are you doing? Walking. Why can't I come with you if you're just walking? Cove let out a deep sigh. You got the feeling that he was starting to get mad at you. I told you I'm leaving. I'm going to be gone for a while. I still want to go with you. You can't. Why not? Cove came to a sudden stop. He almost kept walking ahead of because you weren't expecting it. My dad doesn't know. If you come, you'll get in trouble when he finds out. You felt a knot start to grow in your stomach. You're not supposed to be leaving? His expression was grave. He shook his head. Dad isn't home right now. I left him a letter, so he won't get confused when he gets back. But you can't tell anyone else about this, okay? You can pretend you never saw me. I have to tell someone. No, you don't. It's a secret. You shouldn't go places like that on your own. What if something bad happens? But I said I'll be fine. He must be mad because his voice grew louder. He probably thought that you wouldn't tell on him. Sorry, Cove, but I'm going to tell my moms if you go. It's not a good idea. Cove's face turned bright red. His hands tightened into fists at his sides. Oh, his face. I'll never tell you anything ever again. Oh! With that, he stomped away, continuing down the street anyway. Please don't go. You thought about chasing him, then changed your mind. Cove was too upset to listen to you. Instead, you turned in the other direction towards your home. Your moms would know what to do. When you saw your house, though the car wasn't in the driveway, had they gone out someplace already? You raced to your front door, trying the knob. It was unlocked. You went inside to call out for your parents. Mom, Mommy? Panting for breath, you waited. There was no response. What do you do now? The more time you wasted, the further away Cove would get. You didn't even know where he was going, but he said he was leaving, and Cove hadn't gone down the street because he led to the ocean. He'd gone up. You knew that road. It led to the main part of town and kept going all the way through to the end. He was running away from home. You were worried rapidly increased, and you didn't know what to do with yourself. He was really leaving, but Cove didn't know the area well. You didn't think he'd want to go off that road onto some random other street. So if someone followed that main path, they'd find him along it. You perked up, glad that you knew where he'd be still. Even if that didn't solve the issue at hand, your moms weren't home to get him. You paced across the living room. Just as you felt your eyes stinging with tears of frustration, the front door opened. Mommy walked in, taking off her sun hat and fanning herself with it. Goodness, it's hot out. Then she noticed you. Rose, back from the playground already? You yelled incoherently, barreling into your mommy in your haste to hug her. She stumbled back. What's gotten into you? You're home. I never left, sweetie. I was taking care of the weeds in the back. Those things are persistent. You could tell Mommy was gearing up to rant about unwanted plants, just as she did every summer. You spoke up before she could. Cove is leaving town by himself. You watch Mommy process the abrupt shift in conversation. She blinked rapidly, frowning, then her jaw dropped. Cove's what? You filled her in on what happened, recounting your encounter with Cove and what he told you. Oh no, I knew Cove wasn't happy with the move, but I never expected him to do this. He's running down the big road. It was kind of a while ago that he left. I couldn't find you at first. All right, you did your best. She squinted at the clock in the living room. Mom should be back at any minute, but we won't have a car until then. Mommy turned to you, patting your shoulders gently. Why don't you take a seat on the couch for now? You've done a good job. I need to call Mr. Holden while we wait for Mom. Once she knows, I can look for him on foot. You were still full of restless energy, but you weren't as scared as before. Mommy was here, and soon Mom would be too. Everything would be fine now. By the time Mommy got off the phone, a car pulled into the driveway. Mom and Lizzie entered soon after. Lizzie went upstairs, oblivious to the current crisis, while Mommy pulled Mom aside. It was so quiet in the house that you could hear them easily. Mommy was telling Mom what you had told her. Then Mommy looked at you, ushering you over. You hurried to them. Where did you say he'll be again, Rose? He's out on the main street? I think he's there. Oh, God. I'll get the car and drive up and down the road to see if I can spot him. All right. In that case, I'll call the neighbors and we can all look around the neighborhood area, just in case Cole changed his mind and went somewhere else. You watched as Mom picked up the car keys and got ready to immediately leave again. Can I come with you? Mom turned back to you briefly and shook her head in a haste. I know you're worried about Cove, but I need you to wait at home with Lizzie. If I find him, I'll bring him right back, okay? You were disappointed, but you nodded. She stroked your cheek, smiling softly. You and Mommy saw Mom off. Mommy closed the door and turned to you, and she attempted a weak smile. Now, can you help us out and stay safe here? Yes. Thank you. Mommy put on the cartoon on the TV for you, and you snuggled up against the cushions. With that, she left to inform the rest of the grown-ups around so they could begin their own search. Soon, Lizzie came back down. She was shocked to learn about what happened with Cove. She asked a lot of questions. It seemed like she was interested not only because she was concerned, but also because it was the most exciting thing that happened this week. Lizzie settled in on the couch to wait with you. It was so tense that you couldn't even remember what was on. Your mind was still on Cove. Would Mom find him out there in town, or would he actually be somewhere else? You didn't have to wait long to find out. Halfway through the episode, you heard the front door unlock and then it swung open with a shout. We're here. I've got him, Lonnie. Come in, Cove. You stood up from the couch and ran over. Your heart was beating so loud in your chest that you could hear it in your ears. Mom was putting the car keys away. Cove stood nearby with his head bowed. He squinted to get a better look at him. Cove looked exhausted. His eyes were rimmed red and nearly matched his glasses, and there were dried tears tracks struck on his cheeks. Oh, thank goodness you found him. Yes, he was way down the main street, just like Rose said. Cove shuffled his feet at that, but he remained silent. You could tell that he felt out of place. You weren't the only one who noticed his discomfort. You must be tired, Cove. You can sit down wherever you like. Mommy smiled warmly and motioned him to the living room. Cove looked up at her and then lumbered over. You walked close behind him, frowning. Cove was always pretty quiet, but this was a different kind of quiet. The living room wasn't far or separated by a wall, so you heard your mom's talking softly. He wanted to go see his mother. Oh, poor thing. That explains it at least. Still not sure if it excuses it. It was so dangerous to go off into town like that. He's having a hard time right now. You can't expect a child to handle it maturely. That is very true. True, it can't be helped. But that's enough of that. We should tell Cliff and the others that he's here before a panic gets out of hand. There could be riots. I'll call, then go on to the front to tell everyone still out there. You can keep an eye on the kids, make sure they don't take any more trips today. Got it, hun. Cove just sat there on the couch. Setting his backpack down beside him, he stared at his hands. I'm sorry, Rose. You faced him quietly. I didn't want to make you feel bad. I don't want to fight. Oh. And you won't do it again? I won't. Not for real. Okay, I don't want to fight either. Having him apologize did make you feel better. He looked relieved that the two of you were going to be able to get past this. Before you could say anything else, the front door opened. Your mom was back with Mr. Holden close behind her. He made a beeline for the couch and his gaze trained on his son. Cove, God, are you all right? Strands of his hair had fallen out of his ponytail and his eyes were darkened like he had been crying too. Cove stared up at his dad, his own eyes widened behind the frames of his glasses. He really hadn't expected to be such a big deal. I'm okay. Good, that's good. I'm so glad to hear that. He collapsed, a hand on his son's shoulder, attempting to smile, but the corner of his lips twitched and spasmed, as if they wanted to wilt into a frown instead. Cove seemed to have that effect on him. Mr. Holden turned to you, still grinning weakly, then looked up at your moms. Thanks for the help, as always. He laughed pitifully. And I'm very sorry for ruining your afternoon with this. I can't apologize enough. It was no trouble, Cliff, really. It couldn't be helped in a way. Something was bound to happen sometime. We're just happy we could help, and that Cove's safe and sound. Not for the first time that day you recalled your original meeting with Cove. He had run away then too. Only not as far as he had today. Oh, that's right, because when we first met him, he was tucked off behind our house. Oh my goodness, he's just going through it. He must have had a similar thought because he mumbled an apology. I'm sorry, Dad. I won't leave anymore, promise. Some life seemed to return to Mr. Holden thanks to his promise. This time around, his smile was more genuine. That's a relief to hear. Next time you feel like running off, come to me first, okay? We can talk about it. I'm here for you. Cove nodded. His dad reached out and muzzled his hair playfully. Although he made a face, Cove didn't try to dodge his hand as he usually did. Let's go home, bud. I bet you're tired as I am. Mr. Holden took over carrying Cove's backpack, still collapsed, a free hand on his son's shoulder when he stood up from the couch. The five of you walked over to the front door so you could see them off. Mr. Holden thanked your moms profusely at least 3 more times before he walked out of the door. Cove was made to follow, but he stopped and turned to you before stepping through the threshold. Thanks, Rose. For what? Your mom said you were the one who told her where to get me. It was good that I went back. A tiny smile glittered across his lips, there and then gone. You hugged him. Before he was gone, you reached over to give him a hug goodbye after a hard day. Oh, he held you back more tightly than you have anticipated, and you almost squeaked out a noise. I'm glad you're here. His embrace was tight but brief. He let go as soon as he said what he wanted to. And with that, Cove left. Mommy closed the door behind them. You were left feeling overwhelmed. Your fatigue must have been obvious because your mom sent you off for a nap with no discussion on what happened that day. Once your head hit the pillow, your eyes slipped closed on their own. After the nap, everything else was a blur. You were still settled into bed for real later that night, and in what felt like just a couple of moments. You woke up from a much more at ease than you had when you were last conscious. It was almost like it was a dream, but it definitely wasn't. Your mom's faces when you saw them assured that. After breakfast, you were, it's breakfast time, so we must have slept until the next day. After breakfast, you were sat down and your family went over yesterday and the events in full. They were pleased that you came to them the moment you had an idea where Cove disappeared off to. As a reward, your mom's promised to take you and Lizzie out for a treat later. It was more than welcome change for the worry that you had been dealing with. Mr. Holden talked to Cove about what happened too. You didn't know what was said exactly, but Mr. Holden forgave Cove immediately. He didn't do anything to punish Cove for running away. You blamed no one but himself. He blamed no one but himself for Cove's desire to leave home. Oh goodness, excuse me. You caught your moms discussing it once in hushed tones, frowning at each other. It was pretty serious. There was a word used you hadn't heard before. Flagellation. But there wasn't anything they could do to change Mr. Holden's mind. Your neighbors stopped you in Cove often for the next week or so to express their concerns and disapproval of the events. Still, as they always did, days continued to pass, so did the talk about Cove's running away. Things eventually returned to normal as they had to. Summer kept going, and you kept having the experiences you shared with Cove. Okay, well, that was Runaway. That was very emotionally fueled, I can say. Like, all of these events were, but that one really was emotion fueled. I don't know how big Sleepover would be, but my heart really goes out to Cove because he is just really dealing with what sounds like his mom and dad's divorce. So that's a lot. Like mom had said, you can't expect a child to handle that maturely. So he's just coping with that in the ways that he knows how, even if it might not be the wisest thing and safest thing to do. But yeah, that was the moment Runaway, and I thank you for staying with me for this full video, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.